Good morning, YouTube. Today it is February 15th. Yesterday was my birthday. Happy birthday to me. You know, I haven't celebrated my birthday in like, I don't know, maybe 15, 14 years. So today we're going to talk about credit myths that are in the credit building, credit repair, credit building, debt consolidation, debt settlement, whatever it is, credit and debt industry that it's kind of annoying. And I remember the first article that I wrote about this was, I think in 2015. It was like on the first page of Google. Back in those early days, I was dominating Google SEO for literally every single topic of credit repair. I was like the biggest credit repair company in California and was doing quite well. And I built my reputation on educating people and fixing their credit. I was the guy that would fix the most craziest things on reports. Bankruptcies, collections, tax liens, when those were a thing, late payments, you name it, we got it removed. There's this thing called pay for delete. Is it true? Is it fake? Does it actually work? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you the full crux of this topic. We're going to talk about what a pay delete agreement is, how you could use it. Probably shouldn't use it because it doesn't really work. And yeah, basically that's it. Really quick, short video. Pay for delete is a concept. It's a method used to just pay off your collections, hoping that they're going to be removed. Actually, it's a little bit more than that. So there's a lot of credit repair people that think that you can just pay a collection off and it will just automatically remove. So let's go about the mechanism of how this works, but let's first identify what a collection is. A collection is an attempt to collect a debt. When you've owned a credit card, when you've had a loan, an installment loan, like a personal loan, when you've had an auto loan, things of this nature, a payday loan, and you do not pay. After 120 days of being delinquent, most likely it will fall into collection status, where you're in this gray area where the original creditor, meaning like, Discover or Toyota Motor Credit or Exit Air Finance or American Express, is trying to collect the debt from you until eventually they just pawn it off to some third-party collection agency. Well, they're contacting you. And keep in mind, this third party does not have an original agreement with you, and it's a right to privacy violation in the Fair Credit Reporting Act, but that's for another video. We're not going to talk about that whole process, but we're going to talk about specifically pay for delete. So there are people out there on YouTube that say that you can just contact a creditor and pay off the collection if they agree to remove it. How would you do this? You would, I guess, go to ChatGPT now and draft up an agreement. Back then we didn't have ChatGPT. You had to make this stuff your own. Either way, the templates that you get online back then, you could just download. You can get them now or just use ChatGPT. Are very basic, and there's a very low percentage of them actually working. So they don't really work. This is not just something that I made up. I made an article though, right here. Boom, you can check it out. I'll leave the article link in the description below. It goes really in depth on the subject. First of all, pay for delete is not going to work. So essentially, credit reporting agencies and creditors have to follow the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So they're kind of required to report it regardless. So you can't just pay them and get them to agree to remove it. It doesn't work that way. You're going to have to find some violation that they've made. There's a number of violations that they can make in the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and I can't tell you which violation that the creditor made on your report. You'd have to book a consultation with me. So if you're interested, book me on a phone call and I'll look at your credit reports. No obligation. There's no sales pitch. We're just trying to help you. Hopefully you'll sign up, but either way, you don't have to. It's all good. We'll look at your credit report and I'll tell you all the violations. That's what I can guarantee. On a consultation, I could tell you the violations that are present, as they do change in credit reporting. Creditors report once a month and even more than one time a month, generally one time a month within the reporting cycle, and things change in real time. It's important that you keep an eye on those changes. We do as well. That's why that's why people across the states and even as far as Hawaii and even abroad hire me to find violations and fix things on their credit. creditors and collection agencies, they have contracts with credit bureaus, and they're governed underneath the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So they can't receive your payment and like not report it. That does not happen a lot. Third, if it were going to work, because it has worked for some people, keyword, it has worked for some people. So this is not a viable solution, but it is a low probability of it happening that you could do it. It works for smaller debts like under $500. Most of my clients have $5,000 in collection. So if you think you can just get a pay for delete letter, good luck, you'll be wasting your time. So hopefully this video will save you time. And I'm telling you, I've been in the industry for 13 years and my mentors have been in the industry for more than 30, like 40 years. I was mentored by the original founder of Lexington Law. I was mentored by former President John F. Kennedy's lawyer, also William Cooper. All this stuff is on my website. You can check me out. Your boy Andre has credentials in this industry. So I'll be the first one to tell you that it does not work. We went through there. I mean, it's only going to work for small onesie-twosie collections. There's some other things you have to understand. New credit scoring models ignore paid collections anyway. That's true. According to FICO 9 and VantageScore 3.0, they don't really weigh so much on certain collections, so that's good. If your lender uses FICO 8 models, a paid collection may still hurt your score, and others. There's Factor Beacon, TransRisk, Empirica, and FICO Classic. But that's for another video. I can go into depth how these scoring algorithms calculate certain things. Is there any proof? Because who am I? I'm just a person on this video. Well, I've actually looked at case studies from Reddit. There's an audio recording right here. You can check it out. Go to the article link in the description. You could listen to the audio recording too as well. But this was for a $250 collection. Kyle Gardner from Credit Sesame, there was a forum there, and then I went on my FICO forum, and some forum members removed medical collections that are really low. So I took a deep dive and just looking at FICO forums, all credit card company forums, and just like Reddit and just a Google search, and I found very, very little data that supports that this is a viable solution. Most people said they waste their time. I already knew this, but I wanted to make sure I got some data to back this up, because my clients are my clients, and I've worked on tens of thousands of people, but my mentors have worked on probably hundreds of thousands of people in their day, because these people have worked with some of the biggest credit repair companies. And how credit repair works is that when you have one credit repair company, other people may white label your stuff. So my mentors have actually helped other credit repair companies as well. So the people that they've helped and mentored and given the sauce pretty much is basically like them working on it themselves, except they didn't really do it, but their knowledge and wisdom and protocols passed on to that agency, and they were successful. And this is where we get that stuff. I made a phone call to my mentors not long ago, and I just verified this. I already knew the answer, but I just want to make sure I give you guys some data that you could just know that I'm just not talking out of my ass here. Most creditors are going to reject pay for delete agreements because we already established they have strict contracts with credit reporting. And if you call the creditor and you try to negotiate with this, man, oh man, oh man, are you in trouble. You want to limit your interactions with any of these third-party credit companies because you can self-incriminate yourself. Well, it's not a criminal charge, but you can just basically make it harder for you to get the item removed based on the fact that you called and you may verify that the debt belongs to you, because they have really, really sneaky ways of doing that. So just don't do that. Don't do that. This is why I always encourage you to talk to a seasoned professional. Don't mess this up. You messed your credit up, and you have to protect yourself from shiny object syndrome, watching all these crazy YouTube videos out there, and they're going to give you some tidbits of information. You're going to get excited thinking that the result that they got will happen to you, and then guess what? You've tied yourself in a knot. This happens to a lot of my current clients to date. Here's a quote from Inside Arm. It's a debt collection agency. Let me read it. Creditors must report accurate information, and pay for delete agreements violate the credit bureau's policy, so they don't want to get in trouble. And that was from Inside Arm, credit collection industry resource. You should check it out. Ethical and legal concerns. If debt collectors deleted paid debts, it could lead to manipulation of credit scores and loss of financial data and integrity. That's really important. we're not doing any tricks. We're not doing anything unethical in this credit repair industry. I'm speaking for myself and my company. We find violations that the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, and the Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act, and the Fair Credit Billing Act. Like lawyers find, legal loopholes and violations for their clients and represent them in court. It's no different, except I don't have a law degree. I've worked with some of the best lawyers in the world. I've had offices in their offices and even sat in with their clients and listened to hours of them doing this and that and this and that and this and that. Now let's talk about what actually works for removing a negative collections. I just said that. Finding violations. If you're going to work with a credit repair expert, make sure they're good and they have a knack for finding violations. There's a saying, talent hits a target nobody else can hit, but genius hits a target nobody else can see. That's my expertise. I see things that you don't see, and that's why people pay me premium dollar. Check out this client right here, paid me $3,000 here, and this other client, he paid me $20,000 just for some service. That's the value that they see. If you can't afford that, that's your own problem, because if you want expertise, you have to pay the price. But the consultation is free. So I'm not going to try to sell you on it's like a 5-10 minute consultation. I'll give you that time. If you actually set that time, I'll dedicate that to you and I'll give you that value. I already have so many clients as it is, so there's no need to be scared or shy or anything or feel obligated to sign up. No one's going to follow up with you or anything. We're just going to give you that value, and that's that. Put you in the right direction. You can dispute it if you know how to find a violation, or you can just wait 7 to 10 years. The choice is yours. So let's go over some frequently asked questions. Okay, I'll read them from my phone. Can I really pay a collection agency to delete my debt? Technically, yes, but it's rare. Only some smaller debt collectors accept pay for delete. Most major creditors won't because it violates credit bureau's reporting rules. All right, second question. Does paying off a collection automatically remove it from my credit report? No, it doesn't. What will happen is you pay it off and the balance will be maybe reported to zero, hopefully, if they're doing the right thing. Okay? So no, paying a collection account does not remove it. It will be marked as paid, but the negative history stays unless removed through a dispute. That's right. That's right. Number 3, this question, what's the best way to remove collections from my credit report? Number 1, dispute inaccuracies under the Fair Credit Reporting Act and the other consumer laws that I just mentioned that I don't want to repeat. Number 2, you can wait 7 years. Or number 4, you can hire a professional to do it. Choice is yours. All right. How long does it take for negative items to disappear? 7 to 10 years, depending upon what state that you're in. Okay. Does pay for delete work for late payments on credit cards? No and no. Late payments on credit cards are some of the most difficult things to remove off your credit. Pay for delete only applies to collections. Credit card companies almost never remove late payments unless they reported an error. Okay. I made a video about this. Maybe I'll leave it here or somewhere. I don't know. Depends on how I feel. But it goes in depth about how you can remove a late payment and what are the parameters of doing it, and basically all the potential legal laws that you could use, all the potential laws that you could use to get it removed. And you're very limited for late payments. But we have had a lot of success with late payments, but they are the hardest thing to remove. So that's it, guys. That's a quick video today for you. Pay for delete is pretty much hogwash. You should not fall for it. I don't know. People are still falling for this BS. I would not recommend pay for delete. It's not a viable source to repair or delete an item. Just find a violation. If you're not good at finding violations, meaning if you've never done it before, hire a professional. Please. I'll see you guys on the next one.